NP or medical school? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Daily Sean. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Sean. I do a daily video on something related to nursing. No rhyme or reason. Probably not going to change. NP or medical school? This is a very curious question. Another Hey Sean question from the tribe asking, should they go to NP school or should they go to medical school? This is part of that age-old question of, would you become a nurse practitioner or would you become a doctor? Which is kind of stems from the horrible stereotype that many male nurses get. We all know what I'm talking about. How come you didn't become a doctor? Are you happy just being a doctor wannabe? Oh, I thought you were a doctor. No, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I actually chose the career. I didn't just fail out of medical school. Now, I don't want to go ahead and stereotype this particular person that asked this question because they could not be a male nurse, or they could not be male. Was that even stereotypical? This is a very weird question. You're asking if you should go to NP school or medical school, so I'm going to go under the assumption that you're already a nurse. So when I was a bedside nurse and I wanted to advance my career, I never thought in a million years about going back to medical school to become a doctor because, well, for my personal experience, I became a nurse late in life, so I was about done with school. Nursing is my third career. By the time I actually graduated from my diploma program, I was already into my 30s. And when I graduated from NP school, I was in my 40s. So I guess if I really wanted to, I could have gone back to medical school. I mean, wow, that'd have been a lot of more schooling. I don't regret becoming a nurse practitioner in any way, shape, or form. There isn't a singular hour of my life where I say to myself, gee, I wish I would have been a doctor. No. I work side by side collaboratively with physicians and surgeons on an hourly basis. They are my partners in my practice. So I work with them every minute of every day. And I had a very close relationship with physicians as a bedside nurse working in the ICU. So I believe I got a good idea what physicians go through and what they do once they get out of medical school. And just to add to the pile, I actually work in a facility that has a residency program, and I work with the residents hand in hand. We work side by side, and I help contribute to their education when they come into my ICU. So yeah, I got a pretty good idea of what, medical students that go into residency and become a doctor and then working as a doctor. Yeah, I kind of have an idea what they do. And I would never want to do it. Ever. I mean, wow, we're talking minimum 8 years of schooling. Minimum. Upwards of 12. Depending on what kind of residency rotation you do. And if you're going to do a fellowship or a specialty certification. Or if you're going to go back and cross-train in another area. Wow. Man. I can't even just... Wow. The really cool thing is, as a nurse practitioner, I get to do a large percentage of what physicians do on a daily basis. I still have to work collaboratively with my physician partners. They still have to sign off my orders in the current state I practice in. My state does not have independent practice for nurse practitioners yet. Yeah, I'm if you really want to look at it that way, I'm kind of under their thumb, but not really. I work as an independent practitioner with supervision. I practice to the full extent of my training, education, and certification. I get to do some really cool shiz while maintaining somewhat of a lifestyle outside of my job. Unlike physicians and surgeons who literally eat, sleep, and breathe their job. They are 24/7. Very rarely do they get a day off. They usually get hours off. They're on call, depending on who you work for and how you work it, but man, endless and tireless hours. And at the end of the day, they are the hard stop. They are the reason why things go right or go wrong. Let's not even talk about physicians being taken to court. I mean, not even go down that road. As an NP, I exercise a high functioning level of independence. I get to diagnose and treat, as well as maintain and utilize my nursing education. I get to flirt over the line in both those worlds. I not only practice as an advanced educated nurse, but I also practice medicine. I get to diagnose, I get to treat, I get to prescribe to care for our patients. I get to do cool procedures because of the certification in the area of specialty that I working in the ICU. I get to do the bedside procedures. I get to intubate, central lines, arterial lines, chest tubes, thoracotomy, I get to do quite a bit of stuff. And of course there's all levels of different supervision. But at the end of the day, I have a high level of job satisfaction. And no, I would never say, I wish I would have been a doctor, or wish I would have went to medical school. So the answer to this question is you really got to dig deep and figure out where you want to end up. If you truly are a registered nurse, a bedside nurse, who's interested in going back to get your degree, and you're trying to choose between becoming an advanced practice nurse, an NP, or maybe going into another advanced practice role like a CRNA or a clinical educator, you're trying to decide between that and going to medical school. I mean, just by pure time alone, DNP program is maybe 4 years, average 4 years. Medical school is 4 years on top of having to go back for your residency, which, if you're lucky, depending on what path you take, that's another 2 years. So, yeah, there's a big difference in pay. Physicians get paid a lot more money. They should. They're way more educated and trained. But the work-life balance thing was very important to me. And quite honestly, I truly love being a nurse, so I have no desire to become a physician. I kind of like what I do. If I had to offer any suggestions, I would shadow an NP, and I would shadow a physician, or even shadow someone who's in medical school or in residency, and talk to them. Get the nitty-gritty on what they like, what they love, what they hate. And, talk to as many people as you can to figure out if that path is the path you should take, if that's where you want to end up. Where do you see yourself at the end of the journey? While NPs and physicians work collaboratively and work in the same department in many areas of healthcare, they are two very different disciplines. Another great Hey Sean question from the tribe. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this one. If you had to decide between NP school and medical school, what would be your choice? And more specifically, why? Why choose one and not the other? Leave your comment down below, and while you're down there, maybe even give me a thumbs up and maybe show some love and hit that subscribe button. And as always, check your own pulse first.